Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It happened. G7 decided that there will be a global oil cap on Russian oil. And everybody will have to follow this little decision, which will become a threat and could be always implemented with the help of the defensive alliance called NATO. This is the way this global plantation works. We have one master, United States of America, and then you have a house servant, which is Great Britain, and then you have the rest are just plantation slaves who just are over there cutting sugar cane, and that's it. The rest can participate in the plantation, or they could be made to participate if they try to be alone. If you're strong enough, you get what Russia gets right now, and possibly what China will get in the future if doesn't follow the script. So let's read this news for Forbes magazine, I guess, and it's from September 2nd, 2022. G7 unveils price cap on Russian oil. Kremlin vows to fight back. Group of 7 countries announced Friday an agreement on a long-discussed price cap on purchases of Russian oil, shortly after the Kremlin threatened it won't export oil to countries participating in the measure, while crude oil prices climbed. So the Russians said, guys, if you're going to put a price cap on our product, we decide not to provide you with the capped oil that you will put, this measure on, basically sanctioning it and determining a price for something, a commodity. That's a price set. Remember, the communists put the prices, set the prices, at least in Romania, where I'm from, to everything. However, you couldn't sell anything. Everything was the same everywhere. So let's say the price for gasoline was the same in the whole country. The price for bread, the same in the whole country. For ice cream, the same. They set the price, and that was it. You couldn't move left or right, unless you go under the, I don't know, you do some black market stuff. Or you go to the marketplace, where the peasants, literally peasants, will come and sell their products, their tomatoes, peppers, things like this. And they could set a different price. That was the marketplace in the country, in the city, not country, in a city, in each city, and these peasants were selling their produce. Then you can buy that. Or if you discuss with people, hey, I have this, I want to sell this to you, okay, how much? So, you could set prices. Now, let's go to the next one here. Financial ministers of the G7, which consist of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the US, and the European Union, and the UK, announced the price cap in a joint statement explaining it hinders Russia's ability to fund its war of aggression whilst limiting the impact of Russia's war on global energy prices. You realize that, let's say it hinders Russia's efforts to sponsor its war, to fund its war. But my question is, what are the implications on us? What will be the implications? I mean, yeah, it's okay, you guys decided that. That's good for you and for your guys. But without us, you don't exist. It's like the banks. The banks nowadays seem to be on top of the businesses, like they direct things. They don't understand that they are after the businesses. As a business, it don't exist. There's no any business. They are out. A business can function without a bank. A bank can't function without a business, which could be a person or could be an organization. The same. A business a department store or something that has more than, cannot function without humans. So they depend on humans. So everything goes to us. Like we depend on food to survive, water and shelter and so on. The same is here. So you go by this chain and you realize who's dependent on whom. And then you should, if I depend on you, you automatically are in control of me. That's the way is the nature over there. So if I go outside, I depend on the berries to pick, I depend on animals to kill, I depend on water to get and drink, I depend on all those. So they dictate actually how I live. And my abilities to get that, if that's available, makes me survive. So a bank depends on people, depends on outside forces. It can't be the dictating, because those guys, if they decide not to do business again with you, or you get out of their lives, they will not die. The water will not die and disappear without me, but I will without the water. So the same, the berries or the animals can very nicely survive without my existence. I can't without food. I can't without them. So the same here, the banks, all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but I think in the past 40 or 50 years, they are the leaders. They decide, because the economy, the businesses run deficits, or not only deficits, they need investment to increase their ability to compete against others. So therefore, they borrow, they increase, they build their business. They don't even build their business with their profits. They borrow things that those guys don't have. They don't have the money. The banks, it's on the paper. It's on the paper. They have certain limitations, obviously. So all of a sudden we have these guys here in control that get them, they set the prices for us, affects us, for the Russians, affects us. I don't think it will affect the Russians much, but it is going to affect us a lot. They don't care. And that's for Ukraine. Well, there are some people who might not agree with this kind of setting and contract. So what are you going to do about it? I tell you, you got to go and vote. Okay, the same shit. All right, so it remains unclear what the price cap will be, when it will go into effect, or what other countries will join, or if other countries will join the measure. And the statement note the cap will need unanimous approval from all 27 EU members. They said about $50 or $60 a barrel. And some experts said that if they set it at that price, $60 a barrel, US dollars, then the price of oil will jump up to $365 a barrel in reality. The ones that they say, we're going to pay, so who's going to pay the difference? Who's going to pay that? And who's going to pay many other things? Who? The bankers are going to give us the money. So che bono? Who benefits? The bankers, the international banking systems that you don't know who they are. This is the thing. If you have a problem, you go and say, hey, Biden, hey, Kamala Harris, hey, what's your name, the future Lizzie Truss, hey, Schultz. You have those faces, but that's not them. I mean, you think it's them and you argue, but you go to the wrong door and knock. And the guys over there are somewhere in Haiti on the beach. That's where the guys are, that you argue with Schultz at his house. So that's the thing here. If you get angry, oh my God, look, we should vote them out. No, it's not them. They are controlled by those guys because they benefit greatly. And it seems like everything goes to three things right now: banking system, energy industry, and arms industry. These are the biggest beneficiaries of all these sanctions and all decisions that they put forth. Not the agriculture sector. You can see, I mean, the agriculture sector was okay, right? So we have here that the move will move under decisions for several months was not met kindly in Moscow. As Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Friday, Russia won't supply oil to partaking countries, saying the cap is based on a non-market principle. Peskov's comment may just be another empty threat from the Kremlin. This weasel lives in a cuckoo land. This is what happens when you have ideologues that pick and choose, or people who are paid to say these kind of things and they know exactly what they have to say. Because this, how will this could be empty threats? They said the same thing with Russia and Ukraine. They said the same thing with Russian gas. The same thing with many things. And they say, oh, they were not. But when it happens, they're all surprised and they can't believe it. How? Why can't you believe it? Because in your brain, you either were so vested in your interest, or your cuckoo land that you live, Alice in Wonderland world that you have in your little empty cranium, that you can't foresee these kind of things. You ignore reality. Again, the baking cake, the cake baking system. The analogy I make: if you put the wrong ingredients and you don't use the snaps, you're not gonna you're not gonna bake good cake. You have to follow the recipe. You have to bring everything that needs to be. Or if you want to find the truth, find every information you got. You like it or you don't like it. It's beyond that. Because if you don't put in your knowledge the information you might not like, but there is the reality. It plays a role in the whole scheme. If you just pick and choose, you're going to have a very, very diluted way of seeing the world. Like these guys. Well, Peskov's comments may just be another empty threat. Maybe, but look at their consistency, their Russian consistency. When they said something, they did it. They are trustworthy from that kind of perspective. When they said, I'm going to punch you in the face, they punched you in your face. If they tell you they're going to punch you 3 times in the face, it's going to be 3 times in the face. You like it or not. So when you say it's empty threat, based on what? Tell me other examples when Russia said, oh, I'm going to do this, and they didn't. Tell me. The only thing that I can think of is just to be, I don't like that. I don't like it because it's, minimizes my statements. But it's just, if you think about Medvedev, when he said, if you guys invade Crimea, you're going to have no place to hide. And those guys bombed Crimea and nothing happened yet. So that's kind of like in the middle, because he said invade and so on. They bombed Crimea. I'm waiting about the Kerch bridge, the one over, the Crimean bridge. If that gets destroyed, then there's no way for you guys. You already draw the line in the sand, and you have to freaking do what you said you're going to do. Otherwise, your consistency drops, the consistency rate. So, but the EU could ill afford to go cold turkey on Russian oil if Russia decides not to sell them, as more than a third of the bloc's oil came from Russia prior to the invasion, and Russian oil still flows into Europe despite the EU pledge to ban, in the United States too, I might add, to ban most oil imports from the country. It said oil prices climbed slightly Friday morning, with the prices of international benchmark Brent crude rising 2.5% to 94.70% per barrel, and the US benchmark West Texas Intermediate rising 2.5% to $88.75 per barrel. Through that, though that increase was also driven by Friday's OPEC meeting, where output cuts are possible. All right, the Russians gonna make a kill with the oil. I guarantee you. Under this. Remember my words. If this gets to be voted by European Union, which I don't know if they will, there will be some countries that say that we can't do that. But who knows? European Union, Brussels do whatever it wants with the bottom feeders. So what's gonna happen if this goes into effect? We meet in about a month. And within a month, not in a month, within a month. And I'm going to have article after article after article with experts, analysts, and all these economists, international big bucks guys that are, Goldman Sachs and Deutsche whatever bank and whatever they go. And they will tell you, surprisingly, the Russians are making a profit and we are destroying our economies. When that's going to happen, what would happen with these economists, these leaders, and again, those people who right now are in Tahiti, and we don't know their names, and don't even know their companies, where these leaders are borrowing the money and doing their bidding, and we pay for that. And our children, our children's children, and great-great-children will pay for this robbery legal robbery. Everything is legal what's going on. And democratic and nice. Your voted representatives do this for you. Nothing wrong. And you work within the system, and next time you vote, the same kind of weasels with different names. And the same guys in Tahiti will be over there drinking their margaritas, and while we drink our... All right. We'll see. We'll see. I think it will get, the oil is going to jump up. We're going to have problems, big problems here. And if OPEC cuts its output again, it's like you're two times in the, I mean, not two times, in the same time by two things. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.